Hi, I'm Wendell Marsh, but people call me Wendy or Dr. Wendy if you like. I'm so happy to introduce you to one of our team members, Dr. Laura Z. Weldon. And Laura, would you like to introduce yourself and tell people a little bit about yourself?
Sure. Like you said, my name's Laura. I'm fine with being called Laura. I use they or she pronouns, and I'm a naturopathic physician. I'm licensed in Oregon, which is where I see people to do assessments, but I now live in Kentucky, which is where I grew up.
Now, I know one thing I always like to know is if somebody has pets, will they introduce them if they happen to come into the scene? Do you have any pets that might show up in a session?
I do. I have a pet right here. This is Huxley.
Hi,
He's
Huxley.
he's not going to show up for the camera.
Okay,
He's
that's
very
fine.
sweet. He's a Doberman. He's a little over 10 years old.
Oh, very good.
He's
Um,
usually sitting at the end of the like in the office with me during an assessment.
oh, I like that. I don't have pets, but I that's why I really love seeing other people's pets. It's always fun for me. So what do you like to do in your free time or for hobbies, anything like that?
Let's see. This time of year, I'm doing a lot of puzzles. I just bought a puzzle board that like has legs and tilts. I'm very excited about it. Uh,
That's
I watch movies and TV with my partner in the evenings, and I've been really into fantasy audiobooks recently, taking my dog on walks, and listening to books.
I've been getting into audiobooks too. I'm more in the cozy mystery genre, usually
Mm.
some of the United Kingdom, so they have accents. I like to not I like to not see the murder happen. It can happen between chapters and then they can solve it. But I
Right.
just don't want to be, right there
No
when it
jump
happens.
scares.
So, is there anything that you would want to tell prospective clients about what it might be like to work with you, or uh, you're in a lovely setting right now? Is that where you would see your people?
Yes, this is where I typically am. So this is my home office. I'm either here at the desk or sometimes I sit at the lap desk there on the daybed. And what is it like to work with me? Um, it's funny. So in this moment, so what I didn't say in the introduction was that I'm autistic. And what we've done is you gave me some questions and my brain thought that they were going to come in a certain order and then they just came in a different order and the answer just like went completely away. So give me just a moment to come back. So
That
one
is
thing that
not
it's
me.
like to work with me in assessments is that I will name what's happening in my cognition a lot. And part of that is I think so people understand what page we're on, but also I think it helps to know like, oh, your brain does that thing too. Like I'll often say like, oh, just one moment, I'm picking between four different tracks. Let's see which one comes up. Um, so what is it like to work with me? My hope and intention in the assessment process is that people go through it feeling like it's a neutral to positive experience, that no matter what happens with the diagnosis, that they feel seen and understood, and that they leave feeling like they have a better understanding of how their mind works.
Well, that is lovely. And I know that the people who work with you have felt very much affirmed. And it's like they really get an experience of there's nothing wrong with being autistic. You know, if they were worried about it, once they work with you, that they're not worried. So I appreciate you being part of the team.
Good.
Is, is there anything else that you'd like to share today before we say goodbye?
Well, that's actually one of the reasons that I wanted to work with you at Adult Autism Assessment, because the neurodivergent affirming approach is, I think, not only significant in the fact that it helps us to understand and accept ourselves, but I also think that it makes our assessment process more accurate. The assessment process was traditionally geared toward little kids who can't articulate their inner experience. And so it was behaviorally based. But what I'm listening for, and I think what all of us on the team are listening for, are the neurological difference. Like, it doesn't matter to me if you make eye contact with the screen. I want to know what it feels like to make eye contact. What are you thinking about when you're having a conversation? The sort of common example, sort of silly one of like, do you struggle with seams in socks? Like, if you ask an autistic adult that question, most of us are going to say, no, we don't. It's not a big problem in my life, seams in socks, because I've solved it because I only buy one brand of socks, and
Yes.
I've heard someone say, I haven't worn socks in 20 years. So no, I don't struggle with seams in socks. So I really appreciate that both for what it feels like to go through the process with us, and also really, that we're capturing the true neurological differences.
That's wonderful. This is what we always hope when we're working with an adult population, is that we can meet them where they are as adults, not as children.
Yeah. And people know their own experience. I do personally and professionally think that self-identification is valid. I think going through the assessment process can be really helpful, is certainly if you need accommodations for work or school. And also because I know my experience was that there was this little voice of self-doubt, and that going through the process quieted that voice and allowed me to step more fully into my identity. So that's always my hope for anyone going through this.
Yeah, and I think a lot of the people that come to us they have that imposter syndrome. Like, can I really join these groups of autistic women on Facebook or someplace? What if I don't belong? And I like to be able to let them know you belong. You know,
Yeah.
you are valid. And I like that you, and that all of us, I think, believe people when they tell us their experience. They don't have to prove it in some way. They know themselves, and we're there to learn from them.
Yeah, absolutely. And I love working with everyone who comes to us, because I think I'm so honored that people are willing to share their inner experience with me in that way. I think one particular population that I enjoy working with and supporting through this process are people who also have a history of trauma, because a lot of folks will come with a question of, I don't know what's a trauma symptom and what's an innate neurodivergence. And I really enjoy helping people sort those experiences. So.
And that's so important, because there is overlap, but you know the difference. I just want to acknowledge, if you heard like a thunk before, I don't want to just ignore it, but it was my glasses box falling on the floor.
And all the noise on my end is my dog moving around.
Okay, your dog is adorable and is not a problem at all. Okay, well, anything else before we say goodbye today, Laura?
No, I think that covers the important things.
Okay, thank you so much for doing this. I know that your people will really feel like they already know you before they even meet you. So thanks. I'll say goodbye then.
Bye.